In Beijing's Great Hall of the People, almost 3,000 Communist Party officials closed China's National People's Congress by voting on a roadmap for the next 5 to 15 years. The priorities? Achieving 6% GDP growth, increasing the domestic market, and creating 11 million new jobs.
We would certainly be happy to see robust growth, but we are also aware of the uncertainty involving China's economic rebound. Global economic development is also uncertain.
Also approved by nearly all the delegates with just one abstention, a bill to overhaul Hong Kong's political system. The reforms will see seats added to the territory's legislative council, allocated mostly to pro-Beijing figures. A committee will be established to vet those who hold public office, ensuring they're loyal to the Chinese government or considered patriots by Beijing. Ted Hui, a former opposition politician who fled Hong Kong, fearing punishment under Beijing's new national security law, has just arrived in Australia and says he's heartbroken by the reforms.
It took like decades to confirm and to develop, to finish the design of our constitutions. But it only took 2 or 3 months to have that totally destroyed. And so we feel betrayed, of course, betrayed, and we feel miserable of losing our freedoms.
The US is leading growing international criticism about the changes, saying they're an attack on Hong Kong's democratic freedoms. Strained ties between the two countries were a focal point of this year's National People's Congress. Washington has called Beijing a strategic threat. China's leaders have responded by pushing for a more innovation-driven economy.
China now has much more focus on using domestic resources and increasing domestic investment in basic research like biology, semiconductors. So I think now the competition between China and the US will stay for a long time. It makes economic sense for China to be more self-reliant.
President Xi Jinping has called for an increase to China's military capability.
China's leaders say they want to work with the Biden administration to expand common interests. Top officials from the US and China are expected to meet in Alaska next week to discuss a range of issues, but a long list of disagreements threatens to overshadow the talks, including Beijing's treatment of Muslim Uyghurs in Xinjiang.
China's Communist Party says its approach to the Uyghurs and Hong Kong are strictly domestic affairs, and it won't be swayed by so-called foreign interference. Katrina, Al Jazeera, Beijing.